Warning, the following video will contain extreme levels of glazing of the PSP. If you do not want to hear me talk about the PSP that way, please click off, or don't. Thank you. If you were anything like me growing up, you probably had a Nintendo DS, or maybe a Game Boy. But for me, that was always a handheld that I always wanted growing up. You know what that was? The PSP. It literally took 15 years for me to get my own PSP. After years of waiting and searching for a PSP, I have finally found one. And it has lived up to the hype. Now, having just picked one up in 2026, I have to say I'm enjoying it very, very well. I mean, the size, look at that. The portability, it fits in my pocket, it fits in a bag. I mean, it has exceeded expectations by a long shot. The games on the PSP were absolutely insane for the time, and they still are. Most of them hold up surprisingly well. Games like Tekken, I think Tekken Dark Resurrection looks amazing for being a handheld. I think WWE, the SmackDown vs. Raw series, that one looks pretty good for being on handheld, and it has a lot of the content from the console games. It's kind of like ported over, a little bit downgraded, but I mean it's handheld, you know. God of War, that was an amazing game. I think Ghost of Sparta looked great for handheld. I mean, you can literally just boot it up, play God of War, you know, on the toilet, on the bus, on the airplane. Do whatever you want, dude. When you're driving, if you're feeling freaky, feeling crazy when you're driving, that is the possibilities with the PSP. Literally insane. The PSP has some crazy modding capabilities. The amount of homebrew content you can download and use on this thing is insane. I think currently I have a GBA emulator, which I have been playing Pokemon Emerald on for an insane amount of time already. I probably need to take a break, take a vacation away from it. Probably tell that I'm done with it, because it has been taking away all my time, and I can't even like watch YouTube in bed anymore because I'm so busy with it. Like, I'll literally be playing Pokemon Emerald at work, off the clock, on my break. Sometimes. JK. But no, the ability to just pop into a game for like 30 minutes, pop in, pop out, put it into rest mode, pop back in later, it is crazy, it's crazy. Sony was on something else in the 2000s, man. They were on crack, maybe. And just talking real quick about the GTA games on this thing, they're insane. GTA Liberty City Stories, I heard that's a really good one. I haven't got to it myself yet. And GTA Vice City Stories on the PSP, actually haven't got to that one yet either, but I'm planning to. But from what I heard, they are groundbreaking PSP games. Literally an open world GTA game in the palm of your hand. But yeah, the modding capabilities on this thing is crazy. Like, look, right here I have Tekken 3, PS1 Tekken 3 modded onto it. Oh, wrong button. Sorry, guys. Another thing that I miss from old PlayStation consoles and handhelds is the custom themes. Especially on the PSP, you can put in actual custom ones from the internet, which I have done here, as you can see. And there's tons of them, man. You can just go look, put whatever you want, really. That's what I miss from old PlayStation consoles, really. Because now it's just like, oh, here, put a color. Oh, not even put a color. I think on PS5 you can literally just change like the outline of your HUD or whatever. You can't even put an actual color anymore. And I kind of miss that customization that old PlayStation consoles had. It really made it feel special and unique to each person. Like you can see with mine, I have a little skeleton, because it's badass and cool, and I am badass and cool. So yeah. So this is the theme that I spent 40 minutes searching for. Can you believe that? I would do it again in a heartbeat. Now, the thing that most people forget about with the PSP is that it had a UMD drive that you could put movies into and watch. Tell me another handheld that had an option to watch movies on. Come on. Leave it in the comments if you can think of one. And you can't say your phone, that don't count. And you can't say the DS because it didn't have that. You can't say Steam Deck because I don't think the Steam Deck can do that. Maybe it can. I don't have a Steam Deck. I am poor. People also forget that it had a music player to to where you could put your own MP3 files onto this bad boy and listen to it like MP3 player. So imagine blasting some Title Fight or Joyce Manor or Metallica on this bad boy. Dude, that would be freaking sick. It also had a web browser, which I think for the time was kind of like mind-blowing, changing the game. Because I think back then most smartphones didn't actually have like web browsers. I was born in 2004, so I mean, don't quote me on that. I wasn't really aware of what was going on, conscious. But from what I heard, it was a big deal having a dedicated internet browser on this thing. Currently, it doesn't work, of course. Well, it might, depending on what kind of model you have, I think, of the PSP. I think Sony was really trying to make this thing just capable of everything. Movies, music, video, internet, video games. I mean, it's insane. What were they thinking back then? I mean, now everything's on your phone, of course, but for back then, this was mind-blowing. And of course, compared to the Steam Deck, I mean, the PSP is not that powerful. And even compared to the Switch, it's not that powerful. The Switch has a crazy library of games. But for me personally, the PSP, it just stands out. The look, the feel, the capabilities, the modding capabilities. Which is why I think the PSP is still the strongest contender for the best handheld ever made. And of course, the PSP isn't without its own flaws. The battery isn't that good, to be honest. I already have to buy a replacement because this one doesn't fully charge, and when it does, it drains super fast with just a couple, like an hour of gameplay. The load times can kind of suck with some of the games. And this shell that it came with it, the black shell, it leaves fingerprints everywhere. I don't know if you can see that, but the fingerprints get crazy on this thing. And the little analog nub, it's only one nub, which is crazy too. It's not that good for actually playing games with. I use the D-pad if possible at all times because the nub kind of like, I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't want to use a little nubby. Even with all that, my opinion has not changed on the PSP. I still think it's one of the best handhelds ever made. Like ever. Unless PSP like 2 comes out or something crazy like that, then maybe I'll change my opinion. PSP 3, I mean, who knows anymore. Just make a freaking PSP 4000. That'd be insane. But even with all that, still my favorite handheld. And if you have a favorite PSP game, let me know in the comments. Or favorite PS2 game, or favorite DSi game, or DS game, or Game Boy game. Favorite game ever, put it in the comments. Doesn't matter what console, PC, mobile, Candy Crush, that's a good game. Anyways, this is my video on why I think the PSP is the best handheld ever made, ever, in the entire world, ever. I've said that like 5 times now, but I still believe it in my own brain. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong because the Switch is pretty good. It's just not as portable. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, the PSP is better than the Switch, and it's better than the Steam Deck. Now I'm gonna go make out with this thing. I'll catch you guys later.